Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a very sacred Sunday and that you're taking time to enjoy yourselves and to connect and to reflect. Hi, this is Helen Hillix, intuitive counselor and spiritual coach, and I'm coming to you today to talk to you about the difference between coping and healing and how coping is such a destructive way of living, and that healing is the only way to really bring us true freedom so that we are present, connected, responding to life in a very open and hey Dana, I'm talking this morning about the difference between coping and healing. Hey Bill, welcome. I'm talking about, on this sacred Sunday, I'm talking about the difference between coping and healing, and how coping is a very limiting way of living, and that the only way to really have freedom in our lives, the freedom to be ourselves, the freedom to respond with an open heart and an open mind, is to heal. So let me give you some examples. One example that I come across periodically is parents who have grown children. And the parent, it may be a divorced parent, or it may not be divorced parents, but a lot of times it's a divorced parent who is really anxious or feels the fear of abandonment, or maybe even they are too poor to live by themselves. So they are using their children as a way of coping with whatever that problem is. They're keeping their children living with them long after they're adults, so that they don't have to face the fact that they are crippled by their own anxiety, or they are crippled by their fear of abandonment, or they have become dependent on their child's income and they're not really taking ownership and responsibility and finding ways that they can make more income themselves. So those are all ways of coping. Another way of coping is, let's say you don't like your nose, or you think your breasts are too small, or your butt's too saggy, or whatever it is, your mouth is too wrinkled. Hey Judy, welcome. We're talking about the difference between coping and healing. And the way that we cope with not liking the way we look, in our society anyway, is to cover it up, fix it. Have some plastic surgery, some Botox, some liposuction, some body sculpting. There's always some way that, dye your hair. Whatever it is, it's a way of coping with a feeling that you're having, instead of healing the feeling, instead of saying, I wonder why I'm so insecure that I want to manipulate and mutilate perhaps my body to make it look a different way, instead of healing that feeling underneath it. Our society is so huge on coping. You don't like the way you feel, take a pill. You don't like the way you look, fix it. You don't like the way this guy's looking at you, buy this new outfit. If you feel like you're insecure, go buy a new car. These are all ways of coping rather than healing the actual feeling. And of course, they limit us. They keep us so limited. Sexuality is another way that coping shows up tremendously. If you were molested as a child and by someone touching your breasts, a way of coping with that is to just have nobody ever touch your breasts again. And how sad is that? That's so limiting, when the way to freedom is to find some healing with someone like myself as an intuitive counselor, or some other way, whatever way, works for you. But go for the healing. Don't just cope. Coping, let's say you have it could be some tiny little thing also. Let's say you have a disagreement with a friend over politics or something, and you, instead of healing that disagreement and finding a way to agree to disagree and mutually respect, you just distance from the person. That's coping. That is coping, because you're not healing what caused the rift. You're just coping with it by staying away from that person. So there, I noticed myself over Thanksgiving, I get anxious, lots of people in the house, lots of stuff to do, all this coordinating to do. And I notice myself, I go to food sometimes to cope rather than healing that feeling of anxiety by taking a breath and saying, whew, this doesn't really matter. Who cares if it doesn't all come out exactly at the same moment? These people love me. So, it can be some very, very fast, momentary kind of coping. Hey, Ryan, welcome. We're talking about the difference between coping and healing, and how many of us especially in our society, seek out some sort of instant gratification of coping, and another way of coping is using drugs to cover up our pain rather than going to get some support to actually heal what's making us want to escape in the first place. And we're talking about using plastic surgery, or parents who become dependent on their children as a way of coping with their own anxiety and loneliness, perhaps. So there are so many ways that we cope instead of heal, and every coping mechanism is limiting us. Every one is limiting us. And that's the real thing I want to get across today is, we think, well, what's the problem? I'll just cope. There's no big deal, but you pay a price. You pay a dear, dear price for coping rather than healing. And some of that is more obvious than others. Obviously, when you're, a drug addict and you've lost your whole life, not necessarily dead, but you've lost your whole life, you can see that is a really, really painful price you're paying for coping. But some of them are just much smaller. They're much smaller ways of coping. Thank you, Judy. I'm glad you love this. They're much smaller ways of coping, like having a disagreement with a friend, and you can heal that by just a phone call. But some of the other ways of coping are covering up much deeper, more traumatic things that take more complicated ways of healing. But you know what? You're worthy. You are so worthy of whatever it takes. Makes me want to cry. You're so worthy of whatever it takes to heal that pain. Don't give up. Don't settle for a life that is just one coping mechanism on top of the other. Fight for yourself. You are worthy of having a life of freedom and love and all the things that you dreamed of that make a happy life. You're worthy of that. You're worthy of the fight. So please take to heart what I'm saying, from my heart to yours. I love you all, and I want you to have a happy, free life, and I want you to fight for yourselves and get the healing that you need so that you really do have true freedom. And especially in this holiday season, notice where you're coping and go for the healing. I love you, and you'll see much more of me with much more teaching to offer you.